You're my special friend.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Special Friends Podcast. It's your boy, Wuzi, and I'm here with...
It's me, Allie.
And
I'll tickle my throat.
And we're also here with another special guest. You might not be able to see her, but we have Ariel on the pod, a.k.a. Arioki.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
That's the disembodied voice right there.
Right?
Yeah, she's been... Ariel's been helping us behind the scenes with helping with better topic curation. So it's dope to finally have her on the podcast and have a conversation. Before we get to anything, do me a favor. Can you subscribe to the video, like the video, and comment if you're enjoying everything. If you're listening to the audio version, do me a favor. Please rate the podcast 5 stars. It helps a lot. I say it all the time. Just rate it 5 stars. Even watching a video, go rate it 5 stars. It really helps out a lot. But yeah, I wanted to check in with you guys. How you guys doing? How you guys feeling?
You know,
Not the dead air chicken. Who's gonna talk first?
who's gonna go? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm getting caught up with my grading, which is a pretty great place to be. As every episode, I talk about how I'm teaching too many classes this semester. So, but it feels good. I'm in the final kind of stretch. We've got I think 5 weeks left in the semester. So, just wanting to not be getting to the end with a mountain of things to grade.
Mm-hmm.
And it's looking like that's much possible every day. So I'm trying a new routine where I'm working on not burning out. That means I have a goal of getting 8 hours of sleep. I have a goal of doing some meditation or movement every day, and
getting your CEO back.
Something
CEO routine. You know, they have the get
Is
up
that
at
what it
6.
is?
You know, get up at 6.
Not there yet.
Do meditation for 10 minutes.
These things, well,
deep stretches.
I would love to get there. I hope soon enough. I have a real morning routine, but it's a day at a time. At this point, it's recovering a lot of lost sleep, and I'm not interested in getting up earlier than I have to for the next 5 weeks. But talk to me during winter break.
I feel it. I almost canceled the pod because I was so tired. I was laying there on the floor. Mom was like, "You gotta get up and set the podcast." I said, "I know." I know. Just give me a second. But I definitely feel you on that.
Yeah.
What about you, Miss Ariel?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good because I'm here with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all always bring a really good energy out of me. So I'm doing really well, and I'm also trying to get back to a routine. I had a really good routine, and then my dad came to stay with me for a month.
I'm sorry about that.
And that was very I was so excited. In September, I was yeah, I finally got a rhythm and a groove going. And then he was like, "Hey, I'm coming for a few days." I'm like, "Cool, that's fine, the weekend, you know." "Oh, okay, what you doing for Halloween?" "What? You're gonna be here at Halloween?"
What you mean by that, my boy?
So I'm happy. He'll be leaving in a few days. So I'm happy to get back to a routine. I'm gonna finish my year strong and pouring into myself.
That's fire. I love that. That's what's up.
I love to tell my students that we're trying to get to winter break instead of winter break.
Winter. What everybody say that's corny? End the year stronger than you started it. Let's go, y'all. Push
Especially
through.
this year.
The year's almost over. Think about that.
Yeah,
November.
It's crazy. It's basically November.
It is November.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Whoa. Oh, my gosh. I was still in October.
She's in basically November. Basically. Actually, it is. That's funny.
So
I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, it's been like I told Allie before the podcast, this is a busy week. Well, this last stretch up until these next 2 weeks is gonna be very busy for me. So I'm excited because I actually like being busy, but I'm also not excited because I also have a lot more going on in life than I used to when I wasn't as busy. So it's like, I'm excited. I'm juiced like a little crack fiend. Probably some rebel too, but I was already hyped. And my mom said, "You want a rebel?" I said, "Okay." Now look at me, but yeah. That's good. What's so funny?
It's the yeah.
The
The
rock.
way the rebels moving through you.
So I saw the rock and I started the rock anyways. But I wanted to, before we get into anything, hot takes. Did you guys bring hot takes today?
I did.
Ooh, what'd you
Okay.
bring?
Let's let Ariel start. What's the hot takes?
In the current state of our society,
Okay.
I feel like queer platonic relationships are more desirable than romantic relationships.
Explain that.
So, queer platonic relationships are basically between friends,
Mm-hmm.
usually of the same sex,
Mm-hmm.
and they create life together. So, maybe they're buying a house together, maybe they're sharing an income, maybe they're investing in each other's purposes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
If they have children, they're raising children together.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty much splitting a household as a married couple, but they're not sexually attracted to each other. They're not in like a romantic relationship. They're just creating life, making life, building life together.
Mm-hmm.
And since we're all struggling financially, I feel like more people are seeking that right now. Especially because the dating pool, as I heard, is like pissy. So that's my hot take. Because I'm also one of those people who are just like, I just want my best friend and me to like get a house, start a business, raise our kids if it comes to that.
I have a roommate. I mean, no, it's funny you bring that up because I actually have a friend, shout out to Evelyn, and that's what she's in. Her friend has a kid, and they're not together, but they live together, and she helps her support the kid, and they're not in a relationship sexually or anything like that. They're just friends, same sex, and they basically are like working together to be a family almost.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah,
How do you feel about it?
I've never heard the term queer platonic relationship, but yeah, that I feel like one of my besties and she was also one of my former roommates, kind of operate like that, but she has a husband, so there's not really much of a need to build together. But
Interesting.
I feel like we provide more like emotional support to each other in terms of like growing and building in that way. But I think that's a hot take. That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm saying I feel like you feel like it's a new phenomenon.
No.
I think it's just coming back around.
Yeah, cause I remember I was talking to my mom today about we were talking about like when I was gonna buy a house when I was younger, and I was telling her I was like how I'm glad I didn't buy it, and she has a friend, and what he did before he got married is that him and his friends all went 3 ways on a duplex, and then sold the duplex later on. But that's what they were doing. Like we don't got nothing to do, so they all, I guess you could say, built a life together and bought this duplex, lived together, like took care of each other type stuff, and they sold it off. So it was like interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Me and my friends had that conversation a few years back, but now like they're both married with wives. They're buying their own houses now, and I'm just like, dang, I need to find another.
Y'all sold out.
Right. Yeah, but I'm all for community. Like that's one of my major values, and so I believe in like it takes a village to raise a child, and we should be able to all bring something, quote unquote, to the table as a friend group and build together, however that may look like. Like for you, you say you're like a lot of emotional support for your friend, so that's like something you're investing in that relationship. I want to get back to the days where like we know our neighbors and we know their kids and they can trust us with their kids. I know, there's always a negative side of that, but I want to be able to like go to my neighbor's place and like have a barbecue and like hang out after on like a Sunday evening or borrow their lawnmower if I need it or vice versa, whatever. But sometimes I just be in La La Land because our society is so detached from that living right now. So
Interesting. I always live in a bubble. I don't know. I always joke around and live in a bubble because like, that's how like my mom lives. I know all the neighbors. And then at my aunt's house, we know all the neighbors. At my grandpa's house, we know all the neighbors. But I feel like every time I live in an apartment, actually, this is probably the first apartment that I don't know nobody. Because my last apartment, when I moved out my last apartment, they left a note on my door about how sad they were that I was leaving. I didn't even know I didn't even know you realized I was here.
Aw.
I wish I still had that note, but yeah, I think I've always I won't say I've had to the point where I can go and like, you know, like just pull up to the barbecue type stuff, but I definitely agree. I feel like that's like the best way to live. I remember like at my grandparents' house is like if we see the neighbors' trash cans out, we'll take the trash cans in. Or we know that they're not there for a couple of days, we'll take their trash cans out and bring them back in. Like, type stuff like that versus be like, hey, my house, that's on them.
I actually just did that yesterday.
She's like, I want better community. But that's in the future.
No, I took out my neighbor's
you took them
trash.
out? Okay,
yeah.
Nice. Ooh, I was
She
like,
had said it like on her little, because we kind of like share like a mini porch.
Stoop.
And I was taking out my trash. I was like, I'm going to take out her trash.
Yeah.
And she's like a young college kid. I think she's like 18. She just moved in. I'm just like, I'm going to help her out.
That's fire. I know the people across the way one time, they had left their trash bag out. And I went to trash can. I'm like, I might as well take it.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do
That
stuff
was
like
nice
that.
of you.
I mean, to me, it's just, like, what's the, why? I mean, to me, it's like always like, why not?
Yeah.
But I just some people being over like, I'm not touching nobody else's trash.
When I was carrying it, I was like, I'm touching somebody else's trash.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm going to wash my hands anyway when I go back in. So, but yeah, I definitely have a desire to like share, how to have those, what's it called? Like a time, how you get like roped into those meetings?
Timeshares?
Yes, but I would rather have one I have control over. Like me, my friends and family, like people I know have a timeshare.
That'd be fire.
Or like share a truck. So when you need to move or you want to go travel, like we all just like, oh, I need a truck this weekend, or like the RV or whatever. Like I want to get to that point with my friends.
That's why I kind of miss my old apartment. Shout out to my friends, I miss y'all. Because I've always lived with the idea of like ever seen like a content house, like kind of like Kai Cenat has,
Yes.
and like old school, like what's his name? It's the guy who's Logan Paul and stuff like that. Like I've always wanted something like that where it's like everybody come together and like we're all like in community. And like my old apartment was like that. Like you see the doors not unlocked, usually unlocked all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like my old apartment was like that where my doors unlocked, people just pulling up, like they know where everything's at. It's not a big issue. I mean, obviously to a degree, like it was only certain friends I was doing that, but like it literally be like, what are you doing? I'm doing absolutely nothing. I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Like, and we just all hanging out, and then somebody else in the neighborhood is like, oh, now we got a little party going on, and sharing ideas. And I do miss that aspect. That's fire though. Shout out to community.
Yeah.
That's something I'm striving to do in the future. Personally,
I feel like I'm rebuilding those relationships. So I have a handful of friends I could see going into partnership with in those sorts of endeavors. But
interesting.
I've also started a lot of projects with friends, like just low stakes projects. And I don't know, like I thought we knew each other type stuff. So
I thought we were cool.
I thought we were cool. So I feel like, I don't know, maybe that's commitment issues there in that area. But I like the idea of it. And I do think like when you're with the right people on the same frequency, the same vision, there's a lot of power there. So for me, I think I'm just like still figuring out who those people are to be able to experience that.
Do you feel like the fact that we lack community is why a lot of people are struggling?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Struggling mentally, financially, spiritually, all the ways.
I feel like now it's less community and more, personally how I feel this way, it's less community and more competition.
Yeah.
And not like literally like, yeah, no, the word is competition. I don't mean it in a more like I'm directly competing with you, but it's more like
Like a comparison type.
I don't want
too.
you to. I don't want you to be above me.
Yeah,
Oh, never mind.
it's the crabs in a barrel.
Like
Yeah.
I'll help. Like I'll help you, but only to a certain extent.
Not
Yeah.
more than all.
I
Yeah.
also see it, another part of that is just like people being afraid to ask for help or bringing their friends into that realness of them needing help. Because of like, yeah, because of the societal messages that are being sent to us of like you have to be in competition, or you don't want them to really know like where you're at.
Yeah, or like don't loan out money.
Yeah, or like be in comparison with them, like, you know, that comparison thing.
I don't loan
Yeah.
out money either. But in terms of like buying a house together and stuff like that, you know, you have to be open about your fiscal,
Yeah.
you know, situation and realities. And I don't feel like that's like always a area that friends and I kind of talk about,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I guess because it's a taboo statement. You know, people don't want to, like we talked about earlier. We don't want to peel back the curtain and see like, dang, you got how much debt? Like, I mean, it's funny too because like I'm the budgeter of my friends.
Mhm.
So like I was showing, I sent all my friends it's like this budget template for them to use to help them get their budgets in shape. And like some of them called me to like go through their budget. They're like, oh, I feel weird letting you know how much I make. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't be fooled. I know I look like I do a lot. I said, just because I got a budget, y'all. Don't act like I said when y'all see. But also the reason I like helping people with that, and even something like that, like, you know, some people might feel like you shouldn't be doing that. Everybody didn't have whatever. But at the same time, like, why wouldn't I want my friends to have more money? Then we could do more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think a budget for me, the way I always see a budget is like the way Dave Ramsey always says it, like a budget lets you know where your money's going. Because there's a concept that if they talk about this about your life, if you don't set goals for your life is going to go anywhere. I think there's a movie that quotes Nietzsche, and he talks about like if you don't have goals, you basically let your life be an accident. And that's the same thing with a budget. It applies to different things like a schedule. If you don't set time blocks and stuff like not really full time, but if you don't set certain stuff, your day just goes with the wind. And the same thing with your budget. If you don't tell where your money is going, your money gonna find somewhere to be spent.
Yeah.
So that's why I always tell people with a budget, like, better get a budget. I'm telling y'all, if y'all think y'all good until y'all realize y'all spending all this money on fast food, or you find out you got a clothing shopping addiction. Like for me, my budget, I had $300 for buying clothes, and when I go back and look at that
Every
old budget,
month?
remember I told you I was into fashion.
Okay.
But it sounds like a lot, but when you buying expensive stuff, it's not. Like
Yeah.
like 1 month it'd be like a jacket.
Yeah.
It's like my little big jacket.
But
That's
that brought
it.
you joy.
Huh?
That brought you joy?
Hell yeah, I had some. I gotta get rid of all them shoes I still got in the closet. Hey, shout out. Hey, listen, anybody who in a fashion bag and need to save money, I'm gonna give y'all 3 places that's fire. Nordstrom Rack, and it's fire, but now it's kind of like it's known now, so now it's kind of the club's been shot up, but it's still fire if you can get in there on the good. You gotta find out the day that they drop the stuff. You go those days. Depop and Poshmark, fire pieces every time, never question. I
Have
got
you
so
ever
much heat.
tried Thrifted Up?
That's a newer one, huh? Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't been there yet.
It has really good things on there. I tried doing it once, like with my clothes, but you know how you just never follow through? But I have shopped on there before.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Like I said, those I don't remember who did it first, but whoever started those online thrifting shops, shout out to them. That shit was fire. Man. That's where I got that Sesame Street jacket from.
Oh.
I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Fire. $100. Best $100.
Was that you that told me about the guy that like has a meeting with his family every month and like teaches them about like financial stuff?
I don't know if it was me, but that sounds
Oh.
kind of fire.
Yeah. There's this guy who like have family meetings with his parents, his siblings, and like his cousins in his age range. And he kind of just checks their books for them and then teaches them like a new financial skill or tool that they can utilize.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
I need to become that man. Because my family all sucks with money.
I would go to that kind of accountability workshop.
Yeah.
I love shopping. Online shopping and doing hauls are probably one of my worst habits in terms of spending.
You know, this is the thing too about a budget that people don't realize. At least when I describe and help people with a budget, I'm not ever here to like shame you
Oh
for what you
yeah.
spend, and not that I would. And some people, I think that's why people get so fearful to show their numbers because they feel they're gonna feel shame and how much they might be spending in a certain area. For me, I'm like, listen, if we do your budget and you're like, man, I don't got no money, you find out you spend $700 on clothes, it's more like there's nothing wrong with that. It's only wrong when you start using credit cards and you run out of gas and stuff like that. You know, that's when it becomes a problem. It's more like,
Or you can't feed yourself.
yeah, like the thing is like, okay, if you spend $700 and that's something that you really do, could you do that with $400 a month? Will $400 a month be enough money to buy clothes all month? And it'd be like, it's a yes or no. Do you need more or less? And like with everything else, because like I think the problem that I always run into is that people will spend all this money on clothes, but you don't pay yourself, which means put money into the bank, put money into your savings account. So it's like you spent $700 on clothes, but how much money did you give yourself? You're like, what do you mean? I bought the clothes. Like, but how much money did you give yourself? You know, and that's all my thing is like, I don't care what you do with the money after you put money into your savings and paid your bills. It's just more, did you do those things?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There's this guy on TikTok. He only buys some brands that he has like stock in.
That's fire.
And I was like, I want to get like that one day.
Yeah, he got that from Warren Buffett.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I remember some guy he said if a guy who, we can get off this, but there was a guy who was saying that like if you took, instead of buying a pack of cigarettes a day, if you took that money and invested that in a cigarette company that you're buying cigarettes from, especially at the time when cigarettes are popping, you would have made enough money to smoke for the rest of your life. You know, after
Very
a certain amount
short
of years.
life. That's what
Yeah, no, right?
just kidding.
For real.
That's wild.
Yeah, because you know,
Mhm.
it's pretty crazy. I think people spend like $100 a month on cigarettes at its peak. And this is back when it was like everybody was smoking. So it's like if you put $100 a month into Winston or whatever the cigarettes, Marlboro, you would have made so much money. But just how it goes. Invest what you know. Yeah. I invest all the stuff that I know. I only got a little bit, but anyways, yeah, guys. How was your hot take? You got a hot take? Want to do a hot take?
That happened today.
A hot take.
Nope. Just lots of hot takes in the classroom, but we're gonna keep it off the record.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I had a hot take, but I feel like I liked your hot take so much I lost it. I think we'll stick with that hot take. That was a pretty good hot take, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to we call them queer platonic friendships.
Yeah.
Get you a buddy. Make life together. That's funny. But we got some topics today. We wanted to talk about. But before we get into all that, you want to start off with the Mariah Carey and her Queen of Christmas.
Well, Ariel posted she shared it with us, the video.
Yeah.
And it made me think of a question actually, but I'll preface with what Ariel shared, which is, I guess last year there were a lot of memes of Mariah Carey being the Christmas queen of Christmas, basically, because who doesn't know her Christmas song? But
you don't know, you under a rock.
So she does a video posted on Instagram, but I didn't listen to the audio because we were in our meeting. So was it her song?
So it was her song playing in the background, and she was singing her high note, and the ice
broke
around her, and she's
Like
like,
fire.
It was great. So she lived out the memes.
yeah, she
that
lived
everybody-
out the meme of her like defrosting on Halloween.
Interesting.
which I love. So the question is it too early to be listening to Christmas music
Absolutely not.
after Halloween, like November 1st?
Yeah.
No, okay. What about you, Wuzi? What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I was listening to what was it? September. I was I came home one night after a party. I think it was September 28th, actually, to be exact. I came home. I got me a margarita, and I put on some Christmas music. I sat in my room and listened to Christmas music and drank a margarita. I don't know. I once it get cold for me, it's on.
So maybe it's not a hot take, but I'm here for Christmas music year round.
Yeah.
But especially the day after Halloween is fair.
Yeah.
But there are Christmas Scrooges out there that say you can't play Christmas music until December 1st.
I mean, those are also the same people who leave their lights up until New Year's.
Till
that's fine.
Well, past
till
New
Valentine's.
Year's. Yeah.
There was this.
That's fine.
There's this post this girl posted yesterday, and it was pretty much like, I don't ignore Thanksgiving. And that was like the headline. And she breaks down like her schedule for the next 2 months.
Oh wow.
And it's just like November 1st, Christmas, decorating, festivities, all that stuff. Thanksgiving. And then Christmas. The rest of the time. She's like, see, I don't ignore Thanksgiving. I acknowledge it. I celebrate it.
I mean, for my thing, I remember when I was younger, I always tripped out on that because I do feel like Thanksgiving, I guess it kind of gets a shine, but as soon as Thanksgiving over, it's like a wrap. Like, chop, go ahead, bust out the tree.
Yeah.
And even when I used to work at Save Mart, we would bust out the Christmas trees before Thanksgiving. Because people were buying the Christmas trees before Thanksgiving. So it's like...
Yeah, and it provides an atmosphere for Thanksgiving.
And for me, like, I mean, I don't got no horse in the race, so I'm not tripping on it. But I just be thinking now, like, see, I got that Christmas tree right next to the turkey.
Yes.
Some people
We
eat
do.
turkey for Christmas too, though.
No, and I'm not saying... This is more like, there's the pumpkin turkey.
Oh, okay.
And then there's the Christmas, there's like it's like the
yeah.
table with the little fall decorations.
Yeah.
There's the Christmas, but it's like, no, you got the fall decorations with the Christmas tree in the background, half decorated, and the turkey.
Thanksgiving is the pre-Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
But also, I think if it's more of like a week of thanks instead of a day of thanks, because it's got this mixed kind of energy between Indigenous Peoples Day and, the actual atrocity towards Native people. And I feel like it should be, we should acknowledge that, but like have a week of acknowledging and giving thanks to family and heritage and land. But like, if we could just like have more time to indulge, then I think Thanksgiving would get more, you know what I mean? Like quality time.
Yeah. I feel like the reason why maybe, and this is something I'm just thinking of right now in a moment. I wonder if it's because Black Friday is right after Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
There was a Black Friday yesterday. Wild.
Yeah, I just got an email, early Black Friday sale, Best Buy. Okay.
I hate it.
It's a whole month now.
I hate it.
So yeah, it did wipe out the whole energy for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because like we know we're not buying gifts for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. So it's like, I feel like, I remember like Thanksgiving was dope, but what really people was like, I gotta go home, y'all. Black Friday. Man, think about that. By the way, this generation will never know. Remember when people was getting killed at Walmart?
Yes, getting trampled.
Bruh,
Before Astro World was Walmart.
For real,
on Black Friday.
And multiple people, I'll never forget that lady said she was, but she was like, in the front, and everybody ran over her. She died. Well, she didn't say that, obviously, but they said it, and I'm like,
yeah.
And then the lady who bear maced that guy for the Xbox 360, man, what world we was living in.
Yeah, what a time.
Yeah, maybe we do need that week then.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, so people can feel like content and grateful for what the things they have. But then that works against our world system that we're in right now. So
yeah, interesting.
People won't make money.
Black Friday was about trading just as much as it was about buying and selling.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be a more, especially because back in times where Native people, I think, had, more presence on the land, trading was way more of how they, economically sustain themselves. And I think it would be great to bring back honor and reverence to that and try to fight capitalism through blending other methods. But
I want to get on that tip so bad. Like,
I'm a capitalist, so I'm trying to make the money.
Well, my
both
thing is like,
and can exist. But I'm sorry, Ariel.
Oh, it's okay. I was just saying, like, I just want to dismantle.
Yeah,
Like let's
burn
just,
it all down.
Let's just trade our skills, our resources.
Mm-hmm.
I like that style of community because my boy is Vietnamese. Shout out to Chris, and he was talking about like when he went to Vietnam, it's like that, like everybody kind of works together in the community, and at the end of the day they get faded, and then they go back, like they get faded as a community, and they go back to work the next day like nothing happened. And even in Mexico, and I don't know how true this is everywhere, but I was watching a video about it, like because I was learning. I can't remember, but early in the year I did a month where I made everything from scratch, like learn how to make, refried beans, all that, made everything from scratch just to understand like the life cycle of food in different cultures. So I started with Mexico because I love Mexican food, and watching the videos about how all that stuff like works, like how like there's a tortilla person who makes the tortillas for all the restaurants in the city, and then like the farmers, and then there's like the person who knows how to like sew and stuff like that, and how they do stuff for certain different people. And like, yeah, there's money involved when it comes to like, people walking through and buying the food and stuff like that. But as far as the business, the B2B was all like a trade system where it's like, I'll give you tortillas if you fix our shoes, and if you fix our shoes, we'll do. It's like trade in that sense. And I thought that was fire.
Yes.
Like I do think it's fire.
That's an era I wish I could have lived in.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the era I want to bring back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not I. I want the money. I don't want to do nothing.
Well,
That's true too. Like right now, you can make money with just sitting and sleeping, which is pretty cool.
This guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm childish, but
Yeah.
just being honest.
Ali's like,
just being
yeah.
honest. It's not literally doing nothing. Like,
what about everybody else?
Yeah, it's not about doing nothing. Like, it's just more, like I live in for me, like what I do is I still barter. I do something in the digital age.
Yeah.
But the tender that we use is money.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in this economy,
yeah,
I think you gotta chase the bag.
I think what we can bring up the Keith Lee, what you said, and we can go into that because I feel like that's a good conversation about capitalists, and it kind of goes tied back to our conversation last week about tips, which is, if you guys don't know, Keith Lee is going through Atlanta like Thanos and destroying businesses.
Not purposely.
I know, not purposely, but not purposely, but like he's, because I love Keith Lee. He's like one of my favorite social media stars in a long time. But if you guys haven't known, he's been going to Atlanta and reviewing businesses. And I've never been to Atlanta, but I've heard these things about Atlanta, that Atlanta restaurants have these crazy rules that people just put up with because they're the popular restaurants. Yeah. So he's been going to these restaurants and doing what he does, where he has his family go in, and that way they get the true experience like that. And he just explains his experience, and these businesses are getting flack from the rest of America because, like, what the? And then, not to mention, the people in the community of Atlanta are saying, like,
we've been trying to tell you.
like, I don't know. I can't. I wish I had the clip. And I wish I could pull it up. I'll probably pull it up while you guys give a piece, because there's a clip that's so funny of this dude like getting so mad because he literally like, he's like hella charged. He said, that's what y'all get. I told y'all. I told y'all. Hey, the real milk and honey, that's what y'all get. Because I told you, my homie was in the car. You couldn't let us sit there. He was getting so mad. But it shows the frustration, and he's been letting it out. And before I get into I want to know, like, how do you guys feel about, have you guys seen the Keith Lee in Atlanta thing? No?
I just looked it up real quick. it reminds me of when Gordon Ramsay came out here and reviewed. He did he was doing like makeovers, like restaurant makeovers.
Oh, yeah.
And he did a restaurant makeover for Sandra Dee's. Do you remember that?
No, but that sounds like something he'll do.
Do you remember Sandra Dee's?
The name sounds familiar, but no, I've probably never been there.
It was like the one soul food restaurant in Midtown before we had Fixins, before we had really, I don't know, I guess South was there, but now it's not anymore. Like before a lot of the other soul food inspired restaurants started popping up. It was primarily like Sandra Dee's, and it was not a good episode. She did end up going out of business, even though she got everything made over and renovated. So, but
up to par.
Up to par visually, but why was I bringing this up? Was that you were asking about the Keith Lee food reviews. Yeah. It reminds me of that because, you know, it's unfortunate it takes media attention for businesses to change, but I don't feel bad if businesses are getting flack for his honest reviews, like I'm grateful to him because, you know, no one should have to. The thing is, isn't it the worst when you have like your favorite foods at your favorite restaurant, but the restaurant service is trash? Yeah. And it's like, I don't want to spend my money here, but I can't get this anywhere else. Like the white satin cake at Rick's Dessert Diner. They no longer have over the counter by slice, but rest in peace. Anyway.
Hyper specific.
Right?
I have a few restaurants where we've had that moment, but
there was like an exception with the rule with that was Jamaican restaurants.
Oh my
They were
gosh.
like, if it doesn't have bad service, it doesn't have good food.
I was about to say that someone made the point that if this like Jamaican restaurants is like the opposite. Like I want to go to Jamaican restaurant. If I go to a Jamaican spot, I want to be disrespected unless you know the food is good.
Yeah,
because they don't care about me; they care about the food. Somehow. Yeah. But yeah, that's where like I said, it's funny that you said that because somebody was saying that, and I never been to a Jamaican restaurant, so I never knew that. I never correlated those together. Mm-hmm. But the Molly.
Oh, bye.
It was nice meeting you.
Yeah. My thing was with Candy, like her response to the Old Lady Gang review. Like she did one on Instagram and it was really short and sweet and like, we will love to have you back. And then apparently people were like, girl, you're not addressing the fact that, you know, you weren't going to sit these people. Like, and so I guess on TikTok, she apparently did a longer, like, response, but I don't know what she said.
Audio, but this is the dude that had me crying about the Keith Lee review because I think this is after he reviewed. I can't remember if it was Milk and Honey, but it was somebody. He reviewed a couple restaurants. This is his review. His response to Keith Lee.
I don't like that either. Like they're like, "Oh, your whole party's not here because we can't sit you."
Well, did you hear the rules?
No, I didn't hear the rest of the rules for that playlist.
Bruh, the rules that they gave him was this. They gave the family was that because they wanted to order to go. They couldn't order to go because they just weren't doing it. To order, you have to sit down. Mm-hmm. So, okay, boom, we'll get a table. They get the table, and they said they had just got off a flight. So they was going in, and people going in and out because they were trying to make sure they reservations are set up and everything like that, answering on the phone. And they told them, you can't order nothing until you sit down. And not just food. They couldn't order no water. They couldn't get no juice. They couldn't get nothing till everybody sat down. And then when they sat down to order, they told them that once y'all order, there's no add-ons. So, like, if you order, whatever you order, that's it.
I've been to a restaurant like that before.
Huh?
I've been to a restaurant like that before. Not the can't order anything. It was just like, once you do your one order, that's it.
Yeah. That's wild to me. I'm so sorry.
It was a soul food restaurant.
I get it. I think it's wild.
Yeah.
I think it's wild. I get it from being, my family had a restaurant. I get it because it's like if you ordered a big order, say you have a table of 5 and you order all your food, and then 5-10 minutes later you put in your order. The problem that we run into is that people don't realize that your order is now behind another table's order. You know, like where's my order? I was like, well, if you ordered the rest of your food, all your food would have came out, but you ordered after.
Yeah.
So now we got 2 tables ahead of you for your little one order. And that caused its own friction, but to not let nobody put an add-on on that's crazy. This is more, I feel like that's more a conversation, like, it's letting you know, like, if you put it in, it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just understandable.
Yeah, we're not Red Robin. We're not busting down onion rings.
Part of their reason was like some things are made to order, and they didn't want to slow down like all the other stuff. And I was like, okay, we just want to order as much as our eyes want to order.
Yeah.
My thing is like, and I'm not mad at the rules, because I mean,
some of those rules were outlandish. So
the rules are outlandish, but I also feel like, you know, the way I understand is the rules stem from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they made the rules first. Usually something happened and then the rules was made. So I just understand, like, usually establishments are a reflection of like what they've been through, and that sucks.
So you can't order water?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna lie, I've been places before we all sit down.
You leave after you get your...
Well, you know, people order their drinks and stuff like that, and then they go, we don't got this, we don't got this, we don't got this. And it's like, we're out of here.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened, but that can be frustrating. And I've been on the other side of that, too. It's frustrating when it's like, we don't got no waffles today. These little murmurs. Okay, thank you. It's like this full table of waters and stuff. Like,
that's just part of the...
that's what I'm saying. But I guess, or that you never know. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But I do. At the end of the day, like you said, I think it's fair that people should know what the experience is like, and you get to vote with your dollars. Well, I'm support.
Yeah.
Okay, you can have those rules. I just won't show up.
Yeah. It was also good to have the people have a voice, basically. It was just what he, like, that's his brand, is giving the average person a voice. A lot of people are coming at him because they're like, you're not even a food critic. You don't have no credentials. You never went to, like, school about food, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, that's not the purpose of his content. His purpose is to be just an average person sharing their opinion about food and letting you know, like, if you want to try it out, this is how I felt about it,
Not to mention, like, when, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's such a dumb argument because, like, there's a lot of people who aren't like that. Stephen A. Smith is I know, right? Stephen A. Smith never played basketball. No, is it Steve A. Smith? No, Skip Bayless ain't never played a sport in his life, but he's able to analyze sports and tell people who are trash, stuff like that. Like come on now, like, that don't make. I get it, but I don't, because just because I'm not a food critic don't mean I can't know when food is nasty, or know when a rule is unjustifiable.
Right.
But the reason I brought it up was because you said about the capitalists. Like, I feel like some lady had talked about. She's like, yeah, Atlanta's like the most capitalist place ever. Like, you know, like, she was talking about those places. Like, those places are usually understaffed, but then the price of the food is so high. It's like it's all for a margin to make more money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if that's true or not, but like you said, that's where I always get mad about capitalism, because, like, when people take it to the extreme, we're like, I'm just trying to make money at any cost, and I don't care. Like, people gonna show up regardless. Like, I think that's fucked up, and I don't think that's right, because I think you can hire a good staff and still make money. It's gonna be look a little different. You have to put more work in, but that's the point.
Yeah. A lot of people are speaking out about how they put celebrities and stuff before people all the time. And so, like, his few experiences around, like, him getting out the car compared to his family going in, and then we're like, oh yeah, we can seat you, or yeah, we can make something, and him, like, denying it was just, like, proof, like, okay, that is a thing normally there.
Yeah. I mean, we've had celebs at Chef Paul's, but I guess the thing is, we've never had a situation where somebody walked in and we put them ahead of somebody else. But we had people call, like, we're gonna be coming, and then that's like, okay, that's just like a regular reservation. We're gonna make room, but I think that, like we said, like, it's an hour wait, but here come Keith Lee, and there might be a table ahead of you. We ain't gonna put you in that table and not the other people. Like, that's grimy.
Yeah, that's what they were doing.
And I've also seen that happen. Not even celebrities, like, even on, like, a more, what do you say, like, an inner city level. Like, you got homies, and you like, Don't worry about it. I got the hookup. And you go in there, and people waiting. It's like,
That's
that's no reservations. How they get up in here?
community, remember? We have to look out. Gotta look out for our friends.
Hey, listen. I'm not mad at, but I'm not mad at it fully. But as a consumer, sometimes you like,
Yeah.
if I'm being, like you said, you waiting to something to do, like I'm waiting outside in the heat, and these people just walked out of nowhere, and they sat down. You like, oh no, what's going on now?
That's the skill and resource that they have that they're trading.
I'm not mad at it because some people do have that back room where it's like,
Yeah.
no, bro, they going somewhere completely different. Y'all going, bro. They got the hook.
Yeah.
That's fire. But how do you guys feel about that? Like, do you feel like people should have that much weight when it comes to a business? You know, like as far as like Keith Lee, do you feel like I mean, it's dope what he does. I don't think he does anything wrong, but how do you feel about like someone like Keith Lee literally can make or break a business?
Or is he putting businesses out of business? Is that what you meant by the Thanos
Yeah,
metaphor?
well, I'm not gonna say they're out of business, but you know, when you tell somebody that the company, you know, has bad service.
Yeah. So apparently he has like a worldwide, like global following. And a lot of people fly from other countries, other states
Try the food.
to try the restaurants that he gives great reviews to. And so now there's been people online who are like, oh, I was about to visit Atlanta next month. I'm definitely not going there anymore. So things like that are happening for those
Not to mention like
businesses.
review bombing.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
That's
Even though he
happening so
encouraged them
much.
not to do it, people
yeah,
still do
people
it.
People gonna do it because
Yeah.
they just fanatics. And that's what I said. Like it's kind of
I don't feel bad for him. I mean, I'm sad for him, but
well,
that's what happens. Like integrity matters. Like what you're doing when no one's looking matters. And so just because the spotlight's not on you, and everyday people are coming and complaining about your policies, you know, now that somebody who has a bit more social capital is complaining, it matters. I feel like it should have mattered when you start to hear a number of complaints from your customers that you serve. If you're in this to serve us and not just make money.
yeah,
And if you're in it just to make money, then
you deal with that.
you deal with the repercussions of, you know, I don't know, moving from that place, which is potentially losing all your money.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I said. Let me ask y'all: do y'all feel like he's doing anything wrong?
No.
He's doing what he's always done. Like,
Yeah,
he's a regular guy who likes eating and trying restaurants, and he's speaking up for another regular
doing
person.
his job.
Yeah.
yeah. I understand.
Why? Do people feel like he's wrong? Like
I mean, if you ask the right person that question, they might feel like he's wrong.
he's being an influencer. Is it because he's black and like
Well, you know, some people feel like why post the bad reviews?
why
No,
not?
that's some people's real reactions.
People
like,
probably wouldn't
if you
believe
have a bad
him if
experience,
he
if I don't
only
post. Yeah, that's what he said. Like if I
posted-
don't post the bad reviews, then y'all think I'm just
I mean,
happy-go-lucky, positive. But if I post bad reviews and like, dang, why you bashing this business, this and that, whatever. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he's wrong. I think by
No.
posting both experiences, that's what you're supposed to do. But some people feel like if you had a bad experience, like I've been through that in the waiting business where it's like if you had a bad experience, like people get mad because it's always like when it comes to reviews, it's always skewed. People are quick to make a bad review, but people don't have that same energy to make a good review.
I could see that because it's like when you're making a bad review, you're qualifying why to not go somewhere. And it makes me think of this other food influencer in LA. I think he's called LA Try Guy. And he tries all of these different foods. And if it's not a good food, he tries it, but he doesn't say. You can tell when he's impressed, and you can tell when he's just like, thank you for the invitation. But it doesn't expose anybody. That's what I was trying to say. It doesn't expose anybody. It just is like, okay, this is an honest review. You could tell it's not something he's going to recommend.
Yeah.
But he'll try it, and this is his honest reaction.
Yeah.
You know, but when you're like Keith Lee essentially exposing restaurants, I could see how people would be like, that's going further than you have to go with the influence that you have.
I don't know. I feel like that's what's needed though.
I mean, yeah, I feel like if for certain restaurants and businesses, it's their karma. And I feel like if you really are as good as your legacy holds up, then you'll make the changes and be able to maintain, the clientele or new clientele. I don't know.
Well, and it be like I said, I don't know if you saw, you didn't see about it. So like after he made the review about the Real Milk and Honey, and then the Real Milk and Honey made it. They made a response video where basically it was like the mom, him, and the daughter, and the mom was just like, "Did you see what Keith Lee said?" And he was like, "Keith Lee? Who's Keith Lee?" And the daughter's like, "You don't know who Keith Lee is? Everybody knows Keith Lee is." He goes,
Yeah,
like, he don't care.
Yeah, they kind of like dissed him, shaded him.
Yeah, but the thing to me is like, well, I think that's funny. It shows apathy for the experience for the customer, because he's making that point, but he's making the point that if that was a regular customer, that's what they would have to go through. Like if I went to Real Milk and Honey that day, that would have been me. I can't order online because the app is down. I go in there, you tell me I have to sit down and order, but to sit down and order, I have to wait an hour and a half in my car. Can't be in the building.
Yeah.
And then they came out with an apology letter after that.
I bet they did.
I was like, you already ruined yourself. Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it. Small staffs, that's just what comes. We have situations like that where it's like an hour wait, and it's like there's nothing we could do. It's just an hour wait. Like it's not like you see the business is packed, but they were just saying like it didn't look packed. I don't know. I don't know. I thought it was funny, but again, that's when you guys talking about like destroy capitalism. If y'all talking about that type of stuff, yeah, get that up out of here.
Okay.
Because for me, I don't. That's new. That's just greedy. Being greedy. But I did want to talk about. I know you brought. We were talking about this week about like students. While we're on the thought of apathy, like students aren't loving school as much as they should.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, like in our realm right now, it's a little chaotic because we have at the CSU, our contract is under negotiation, and so basically, if we can't come to an agreement with the chancellor, we'll be going on strike. And so it's an exciting time. It's a confusing time because I know now what we're fighting for. I'm getting more informed every day, but there's an energy around like teachers right now that I wonder if it's affecting why students don't like school, or if we're all not liking school because the system is malfunctioning and it's finally catching up to itself.
I know Fresno schools are on strike right now.
Are they?
Yeah, my friend's son wasn't at school, and I'm like, why is your friend not? Why are they not at school? And they was like, yeah, they're on strike. So they said it was optional if you want to bring a kid in or not because the teacher's on strike. So it must be something in the water.
It has to be. So
what are they striking about?
Well, right now there's a number of things. It's wage equity. It's, especially for people like me, I'm probably the lowest on the totem pole of faculty. And so making it more fair for us that we don't have to piece together a salary at multiple schools, because we're working double time, if not triple time, if not quadruple time, what a full-timer has to work. A full-time teacher out of college is teaching anywhere from 2, 3, 4, 5 classes, maybe 6, but I'm teaching 11. And that's a max. Like that's really what people shouldn't be you shouldn't teach that many classes. I would say like 8, 9 is probably a more normal heavy load for an adjunct.
Yeah.
And that's even a lot. Maybe even 6 is probably 4 to 6 would be more comfortable for most teachers.
Yeah.
So it's that we shouldn't have to be in the position where we have to piece together schedules to make a income that's satisfactory to us. We should be able to make decent money where we're at. And it's a problem because you've got administrators who are getting salary raises. We have a new president at Sac State who has a pretty nice salary. And so there's money for them to get raises, but there's not enough money for them to give us a, full semester off when we need parental leave. To give us, again, like, I think we're looking at a 15% wage increase that we're asking for, because they're doing like a 5% tuition. I think it's 5% tuition increase on students every year or I think every year, maybe say every semester wrong. So I won't, but yeah, it's a number of different things.
Yeah.
So, and then there's also stuff like having lactation rooms for breastfeeding instructors, having, it says, safe gender inclusive restrooms and changing rooms, having provisions for us when we interact with university police on our campuses. Like, there's all sorts of things where we're not protected. There's no systems in place to help us so that we can help the students. But if you think about even like COVID, I said this with my students, in COVID, people consider frontliners only to be the people in the healthcare field or people who are running food or in food service. But I would argue that it's also teachers, because we had to develop a whole new skill set without being paid, without real proper training.
Yeah.
And now we have the whole repercussion of COVID to deal with and figure out, without proper pay, again, without support from administrators. And we have students that lack motivation and desire to be in school because it's expensive and because they feel like degrees don't mean anything.
Yeah.
So it's an exhausting environment to be working in right now. It's interesting to be at your dream job, but it not be everything you ever dreamed of. You know, it's
That's
very
not
sobering.
That's life right there.
Yeah, I totally relate to that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to talk about why students are hating school. Like, I don't know. I've asked some of my students, and I'm curious if y'all have friends that might dislike school, or particularly college. But some of my students are like, I don't like school because of the homework. Like, I don't want to have to do all that work. I don't like school because of having to balance all the time. And if it were up to me, I would rather not be in class. I would rather be working or rather be spending my time doing something else. Or I can learn everything online. I don't really need to be here to learn information. I have an argument to that, though, is how do you know that where you're learning your information from is credible, especially if where you learn your information mostly comes from online?
Yeah.
So anyway, these are a couple of things that are coming up in my class, and I'm like, school's really not that bad. It's really not that bad, y'all. You know, like, you got space to F up. You got space to change your mind. You have space to ask for help. You have space to get funding for the things that you can't afford yourself. But you complain about not wanting to do the work that affords you those resources and that space and that time to really, like, ease into becoming an adult, or ease into what it is you want to do for your career, or ease into just life. I don't know, it's discouraging when students can't just appreciate that, and as a result appreciate the experience you're building for them in class. It just makes the work so much harder, you know.
I will say this, and this is someone, to give y'all full context, this is someone who is not the most pro school. And not that I'm against school.
Yeah.
It's just I see a lot of chinks in the armor that is the higher education right now. And to your point about, like you saying about, you know, for a full-time teacher, like 4 to 6 classes is like the average load, and then, like, you know, like 8 is high, 8 is like high, and 11 is like too much. When I see, like, some of my friends take a heavy caseload of classes that they have to take, and I ask them, like, if it's a lot, why are you taking them? Well, for financial aid, you have to take so many credits and things like that. So I feel like for students as well, there's a heavy load in that sense. Like, to even afford me to go to college, I have to take a heavy load of classes already. And then on top of that, there's like a disconnect with the teacher, because the teacher only worry about their class. They're not worried about the other 6 classes that you might have.
Yeah,
so,
the calculus homework you're doing in public speaking right now.
Yeah. You know, like, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, exactly. So it's like, you know, their kids are also they're kind of in their own thing where it's like, I got to work and do school, but also my teachers want to give me, you know, all this work and expect all these things from me. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, it's the fact that it's so much at once. So it's like, yeah, your calculus teacher wants you to be the best in calculus, but your PR teacher also wants you to be the best at PR. And all your other teachers want you to be the best in the situation. That's a lot to put on one person every semester. for 4 to 6 years, and then that's just the beginning of your journey. Like, I can see why somebody would be like, why I feel like a lot of people get to the point where it's like, this is just a means to an end. I don't, like my cousin was talking about, I don't care if I just want to get a B, bro. Honestly, like, I'm not looking for the A. If I get a C, it is what it is. Like, I'm just trying to do what I need to do because I got work, I'm moving, and I got all these classes I got to take. And they're like accelerated classes on top of that. So it's like, you know, I see that apathy from the students' perspective because I talk to a lot of my friends who are students, and it's like it's not ever the one class; it's the
totality.
It's the totality of the workload of going to school. On top of that, I have to afford it because now my financial aid is running out, and this is now whatever, and I still got to go to work and deal with the work shenanigans. That's a lot.
I did have a student this week tell me we do work too.
Yeah.
And I was like, fair. I know.
Yeah.
But I have to remember, like, this is my work. So it's like it feels so, it for me weighs differently, and it does get lost on me sometimes, but I do try to remain, you know, like empathetic at least. But yeah, it's hard when you want your students, to be the best speakers.
Yeah.
And you forget about the fact that they got to be also competent in their math and their English. But my class tends to get the pushed last. And so I've been going kind of hard on my students this semester. But shout out to them because they have, for the complaints that I'm talking about, this is more just like a general attitude. My students, there are a good amount of students that are showing up and are motivated and are grateful and appreciative. But I don't know. It's just an interesting trend to see the retention is not the same. Like students will give up and drop out of a class or college a lot faster than I feel like they did pre-COVID. So, it's like this, something in the water of school sucks, and it's worth it to give up. And, you know.
I mean, how do you think about it? What do you think about it? Are you in school?
No, I've been going to like information nights for grad school.
Nice.
I don't think I'm gonna do it.
No, I was so excited. Why not?
I was looking at the financial part of it, and I'm behind on my first payment of student loans that just went back in. I was like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
But they defer if you go back to school.
I know that was part of the reason too. I was like, oh, like I'm already interested in going into grad school, like perfect timing. But to your sentiment about like that is a good space for them to explore their interest and like maybe even make those lifetime bonds and like network, and there is funding out there available for them to access and stuff like that. But like you said, like people are working, some people are parents, some people are taking care of their parents, you know, depending on what generation they're in and all the other life happenings, right? So it's kind of like, do they even have the capacity to go to the career center or go to the financial department and look into those resources that may be available to them? And then when they have that understanding what those resources are, do they have the time to apply for those resources or gather the stuff they need to even submit the stuff they need to access those resources as well? So I think it's more of a capacity thing. And of course, like you said, like COVID does play a part in that because like our whole way of doing life has shifted. But also a lot more has come with that, right? With societal pressures, navigating different systems outside of the college institutions. It's just a lot that people are trying to navigate right now. And I think that school is just getting hit.
Yeah, and that's also, it comes back to the strike too, because we're fighting for having the ability to have more time to support students. Because we are teaching so many classes, we end up stretched thin and we're not available to support and do some of that work for them.
Yeah.
You know, to connect them and make sure they have that information. Or if they don't have time to fill out the application, I'll fill it out for you and send it in. Just let's fill it out after class. Like, we don't have the opportunity to do that, to build all of those relationships where they're really needed, because our attention is in so many different places. So I definitely hear that. And it's something that I feel disheartened by in this work because I was able to really make the most out of college, and I just want that for anybody that's going to school. I want them to be able to create their own success for themselves and feel empowered enough to, get them exactly where they want to go, to know who to ask and to build the relationships. But I get easier said than done. And I also worked on campus.
You're in that la space I was in with community.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I'm like, yeah, we can make it happen though.
Yeah.
Education can be saved.
Yeah. That's what I don't think, I never felt like school was wrong. I just feel like, for me, I'm going to go to school one day. I'm going to go to college, but I'm going to college on my terms. I'm going to take the caseload that I want to take. And that's how I always see it. Because I always want to go to college. I want to go to college for anthropology, and low-key want to go for architecture. That would be fire. But it's not, that's something I want to go to school for, but I'm not going to, do a whole bunch of other curricular classes that I don't care about on top of going to work 5 days a week, on top of doing a podcast. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna play myself in that way, And I it's like my friend CJ is a good example. Someone who's been going to college, and I say this with a grain of salt, like no, nothing against him, but I feel like the systems at play have finessed him when it comes to college. He went to City like you're supposed to do, and then transfer, told to take these classes that will help you. He transfers. Oh, those classes don't transfer.
Where did he transfer?
He went from Fresno Community to Fresno State, and they're saying like certain classes that he took, something happened, it don't transfer, so you gotta go back and finish these 2 classes, then you can transfer, and then you deal with the outside sources of it, where it's like this company's like, well, yeah, we'll work around your school schedule, and he gives you a school schedule, like, we can't work around the school schedule. It's like, what do you mean? That's what you said you would do. So it's like that is a lot on top of his own pressures that he deals with on why he's even going to school. And I feel like, I'll never tell him to drop out of school. But if he got to the point like, I can't do this no more, I can't fault him. I'm like, that's a lot, bro. Like,
yeah,
you're trying to do your best and make this work, and it don't seem like you said, somebody's on your side to help you. It's more like hands in the air, like, I mean, this is how it is. You got it. If you want it, like he said, with the financial aid, when he lost his financial aid for a little bit, I think they told him like, yeah, you gotta go do all this stuff. And it's like, but also you got to keep going to class because you can't drop the classes. And you might have to pay. You might have to pay like the first payment or something like that, and we'll reimburse you. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's like the policies are what I feel like keep people from being happily engaged in education, because even for CJ's classes to not transfer over, which is crazy for it to be from Fresno Community to Fresno State, like their articulation agreement should be very clear.
Mm-hmm.
So there had to have been like a policy change inconveniently around the time that he was transferring, but still there should be things in place that where the priority is ensuring that students have a smooth and supported ability to, pursue their success.
Yeah.
And even sometimes maybe if there are, like, I don't know, I just have a vision. I am in La La Land, because it's like, even if students don't have the time for it, like there are certification programs,
mm-hmm.
there are shorter versions. And it's like, I just wish those things were more normalized. I wish that like employers would be more supportive of people taking time off to do the studying so that they can be better quality workers. But the other thing to me too is like, so if people don't eventually come around to appreciating education for what it is, teachers don't get paid. Mm-hmm. What are we going to do if there is no school for people to go to? If there are no teachers to teach the schools, nobody to make the research, nobody to make doctors, nobody to teach the lawyers, like what are we going to do in that kind of day? So for me, I'm just wanting an attitude shift about it, because we're not getting paid, people are not going to school, and if we continue down that path, we're not going to have teachers, and we're going to have a very dumb society.
We're already down that path.
I know.
Like, I feel like these generations behind us is like, they might wipe out school, like even from like the K-12 level.
Good luck to the parents.
Yeah.
To them.
Yeah.
I will say though, like I know, like to get to like go more into like some solutions. I feel like there's some things that are kind of like I don't understand why they're not a thing. So, example, like when during COVID, lectures were either a recorded video or a live stream. I remember when I saw that, I said, "Why hasn't that been a thing way before COVID?" Like, and I get it, like at least from what I've seen from lectures are not. It'd be different if lecture was more like a back and forth with the students, but it literally be a teacher in front of the board and the students are just all watching, taking notes. If the lecture is that style, especially when you have like so many students in the class, why is that not just made a video and you watch that lecture? And I get it, like there's a lot more at play than that, but
Yeah, because we're not editors.
yeah.
We're not videographers.
Yeah. Well, I'm
you know what I
not
mean?
you, but the school doesn't supply where it's like
Exactly.
that's what I'm talking about. The school
To create it.
supplies that to do that because
Well,
it's one of those things where it's like it's kind of I don't know. To me, it's like you see the Harvard level like college courses, and you see like the big old lecture hall. And some guy even talked about he learned a lot of stuff because I guess he found out Harvard does post those videos.
Mm-hmm.
So he sits there and watches the Harvard lectures. I'm like, I remember thinking, I was like, why don't they do that often? Because that'd be kind of like fire. Like,
Yeah.
and when COVID happened, there was teachers giving lectures online Zoom. My ex-girlfriend was doing Zoom calls, and I was like, in my head, I said, it sounds like I would do school if lectures were like that, because then I can actually sit there and be engaged and be in a comfortable environment instead of being like, I gotta get up 8 o'clock in the morning and sit here and just be disheveled. You know what I'm saying? And you can get, and I feel like for the teachers, but I guess it kind of goes against like the classes, but you can get all your students to watch the same video and not instead of each class give the same lecture. You just get one powerful lecture and call it a day. I don't know. To me, that's how I see it. But again, I'm in my own la la land where it's like that would be so much easier, not only for the students but for the teacher too. Like, why give 6 lectures when you can give one good lecture, and the students can then now you can spend the rest of that time, like you said, giving back to the students instead of giving the lecture each day in each class.
Yeah, I feel like post COVID, just because it was all that.
Mm-hmm. Or at least
Not
make that an
every-
option.
Yeah, well, if it's like live streamed,
Like
also like some people are in person, some people are watching.
I think that would be a great option, but most of the times, like that's kind of what things were when we came back from COVID. And when students have the option to attend class, they're not gonna attend class.
Well, some people do prefer in person though.
Some do, some do.
So
but,
you have,
but the thing is, that's true. But the thing is, like, I have a class right now that's in person, and when people stop attending over time, it still affects the motivation of the students who are in-person learners.
Mm-hmm.
So the smaller the class gets, the less engaged other students are, the less, like effective the class is. So it's like you either need to be showing up, and if we're going to be doing it online, being able to hold students accountable to actually watching the videos is another layer of it. It sounds great in an ideal world, but in practice, students are not always working with integrity.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, we can provide these things. Yes, we do provide these things now, but in offering it, it does create more space for low integrity in the learning and low interaction, because also there's the cameras off situation for online learning spaces there, so it's like there are ways it's effective, but we've just yet to figure out where's the real sweet spot where we know students are showing up and not taking advantage of, and instructors too.
Yeah.
Because instructors can take advantage of the online part of not
Also,
responding often. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know I'm just rambling.
No.
at this point,
I
but-
totally get that too. Like, there's nothing to. It's an out of control environment, basically.
Yeah.
And some classes, like your class, public speaking, like you kind of want to do that in person, anyways.
We need to. It's not like I teach public speaking online, and it's just not the same experience. Making my assignments also online friendly is not an easy process. So, it's.
And you're not really learning.
And you're not,
Because public speaking, like, okay, so say you gave them an assignment and they have to record themselves doing their speech or whatever. They can record themselves in their bathroom by themselves. You're not building up that grit to get in front of a crowd and speak.
Like, they get the skill of learning how to write a speech.
Yeah.
They get the skill of, I think, developing confidence, especially like camera confidence eventually. But yeah, to your point of like actually getting the public audience part, the most you're going to get are your peers watching it and commenting below on what they thought. So yeah, it's so to afford quality education, same quality class with different modalities that's the place in education where we're at, is like trying to figure out how do we do that effectively, and can it be done effectively.
That's what I was saying. Like, and it's more like a, not like completely get rid of the on campus experience, because I feel like that's the most important experience. I'm just talking about like using technology to kind of get rid of some of the redundancies that I feel like, you know, that you guys kind of run into. Like I say, that's why I say use a lecture, because I feel like lecture is the main thing where it's like, don't get me wrong, I've watched videos where the you know, the teacher is looking for participation and it's a back and forth, and those are like the most dope lectures. But I understand a lot of them aren't that, you know. And like I feel like my girlfriend was taking my ex-girlfriend was taking science. She had the online lectures, but the labs you did them in person. And especially it was during COVID, so it was like in pods. So it's like you have your group, you have your like research group, and you guys would go and do these labs and take the notes like that. But you just did the lectures online, and I think they even did the testing in person, if I remember correctly. So it's like, you know, stuff like that. And I feel like post COVID, going into lessening the caseload, not only for the teachers, but also for the students, I feel like taking advantage of technology when you can would be beneficial. And like I get it, like you said, when it comes to like, I understand like there's the struggles with it. Like you said, like the camera off, you know, you could just put it on and be doing this with the lectures on. You know, like
it ends up being more work for us, is more. Yeah. You know, in terms of just classroom management, and then also the development of those materials, because we do have resources on campus that can help us record, help us caption our lectures and things like that. But the preparation to prepare an effective lecture in that manner, and also understanding that like not all instructors have the gift of lecturing. Some are better at facilitating like discussion and activity, and that doesn't go over quite as well if we're doing an asynchronous online class, when people are coming in to do this activity on their own time, with sometimes certain learning experiences we need to be here in person. So hybrids are a good example of that, but we've been doing hybrids pre-COVID. We've been doing hybrids since COVID. And I mean, I have hybrids right now for public speaking. They have half their content online, and then they come into class to do speeches. But there's still a gap in that they're just coming in to do speeches. And so what you really need for a good public speaking class is like people to feel like a community, back to community. But if we're only meeting once a week just to deliver speeches, it's a lot harder to build that community, you know? And so they're a lot less invested, a lot less effective, I think, in arriving at the growth that I like to see my students arrive at. Not everybody's going to grow exponentially, but I know what my students are capable of. And hybrids make it a lot less possible for me. But that's because in this case, I'm sorry to be nerding out so much, but I'll end it here. For us, our hybrids, half of the content is developed by another instructor. And so you've got me in person teaching, facilitating the speaking part, grading the speaking part, but that online stuff's not developed by me. And so there's a disconnect there. So it's just, it's like, and it's complicated also at the same time in terms of trying to figure out how do we make it easier on instructors, but make it easier on you. Ariel, am I making your brain hurt right now? I'm sorry.
Well, for me, it's just, like I said, I get excited about conversations like that, because I think that's the point to solve at that point. It's like, how do you solve that?
But it's just like, first one to solve y'all getting paid appropriately.
You know?
And then maybe building a team around you. That can do the technology part and get the digital materials together for you, specifically to your I guess, approach to the concepts and stuff that, it's a lot.
Yeah. We have those, but they're like departments of 3 people for the whole campus.
Oh no. In 2023, that should not.
Yeah.
But then again, they're not paying nobody, so.
So here we are.
That's fire.
You know, on the retirement note, just going out on a positive, because we're talking about inequities in payment. Yeah. Ariel shared with us a video or Instagram post of this couple that bought 55 or 51 back-to-back cruises because it was cheaper than going to a retirement home. And I'm trying to live that life.
Exactly. That's where I'm at too.
So
55 cruises?
Yeah, just back to back. It was just it was cheaper than them like staying in their home and cheaper than them going to like a retirement center.
That sounds crazy. It sounds lit.
Amazing, right? They have this cruise where it's like a year long, and you go to the 7 wonders of the world and cruise all around the world to the 7 different continents. And I really want to go on that. It costs like, I want to say $100,000, $155,000, I think. So I feel like I don't know if it was my dad or somebody was talking about planning retirement every 7 years for yourself, but I like the idea of not waiting until like this. Where teaching's at, I don't know when I'm gonna retire. I don't know. I need to retire while there's still a system.
I wanted to do that with my ex. I was like, let's just sell all our furniture, store the stuff that we absolutely want to keep at our parents' house, and just travel for like a year and a half, because we had the savings. We were developing some type of income so we could still have like spending money and stuff. I'm like, the amount of money we put into rent, we could put into paying for this travel expense. And he was just like, no, what do I do with my PlayStation?
That's a valid point.
I was like, you can bring it with you. Like, what do you mean?
Point.
We'll just get all the, little converters and stuff. You can still play your game.
I need my P4.
But he's like a very like, I want to be near my family at all times person. So I was just like, okay, I guess that's probably why we're
nerd
exes. But yeah, planning a retirement every 7 years. There was this other post someone did recently. I reposted it on Instagram, but she was just like, they really talk about we supposed to work till we 65 and have 11 years of play when our bodies are like worn out and like tired. We don't have any energy anymore to do anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is this my time to go?
That's why it's funny. I read a lot of books, and one of the books, my favorite concept of retirement is micro retirements, which is kind of like what you're talking about, the 7 years and then retire. I love the concept of micro retirements, which is basically like, people might call it vacation, but it's like a guy talks about it. A lot of people who work for themselves do this, where they call it they'll work like the first 6 months, that's where they do majority of their work. And then when summer comes, that's when they kind of like finish things off. And then basically from July till December, it's just like they do whatever they want.
Yeah. I want to do
They made majority of their money and stuff in the year. And like, that's the life that I'm always striving to get. Cause I'm trying to get to the point where I'm like,
yeah, that's ideally how I want to live too.
Yeah.
Like I want to like work maybe 6 months, 5 months a year. And then like during this time, I really feel, I was like, why are we like the only creatures that don't like hibernate? Like, and not necessarily sleeping like, full time, but it's just like, it's cold. Of course I want to be in my home.
Yeah.
Holidays, whatever. But of course I want to be around my family, loving on them, making memories. Like,
I mean, she had a coworker who said, like, I guess you can only work so many hours or so many days in a month. And she said she'll like bust it down beginning of the month, and then you just have like this long stretch of days off. And for me, I'm like, that's if you told me, Najar, you just gotta work every day for 6 months, and in the next 6 months you got it off.
Exactly.
You think I want to work 6 months straight? I don't listen. F the weekends. I don't really care about the weekends. I could have, man, especially if you start off you get off in June. It's gonna happen one day.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my 10 forms of income, and I only want to like physically work at 4.
Yeah.
And most of that would probably be done online.
Yeah.
And then I
That's
could
fire.
have my little, what do you call it? Like not a vacation. They call it something else in like the UK. A holiday. Have my holiday for 4 months with my family.
That's fire. See,
During the winter.
I'm gonna get there. It's around the corner for me. I can feel it. Taste it.
That gives some nice inspiration for something to work towards, because I feel very all over the place right now. I love my job. I would love to teach forever, but it is definitely all starting to,
Have you thought about being like independent?
definitely. I definitely want to at least do both for a little bit until maybe I can
You
figure
can
out.
even incorporate, I know like virtual isn't like, you're not really feeling it like that, but that can be part of, yeah, that as well. But that can be part of like your independent venture of like creating that space. You're just like, if you get information online, how do you know it's credible, right? So maybe creating some type of agency that does the research, gets the backing, and get it accredited by these same accreditation companies that the universities are using, and it's online.
I also didn't know how lucrative it is to make an online course. A guy I
Yeah.
follow, Ali Abdal, he said before this whole like course, course, everybody has a course. He made a course on not Udemy, what's the other one? Skillshare, and he said he was getting like $30,000 a month from the one course that he made on there every month until they changed their rules and their splits. He's like, he's making $30,000 a month for a course that he made one time.
Yeah. That's gonna be one of my 10 incomes.
And I'm like, you talking about like PR and doing a certain way. Like I can't see. I could easily see you making a course, and then people can just invest in that course, especially at their own time frame. And it's like you don't have to do anything.
That's the dream. The dream is to have no homework to grade.
Yeah.
Like put the information out there. You got a speech you want to work on with me? We could even do some coaching, but I don't want to
That's the next
grade.
tier.
That's my biggest pet peeve of teaching is grading.
And that's
So.
probably the biggest for students is doing the work. You have to grade.
Exactly.
So
I never did homework. Once I found out my teacher said you can get a C without doing homework, I said, why would I ever do homework?
Oh my gosh.
Just pass the test, nigga.
I'm getting caught up in my grading, and I am seeing how many students don't do homework. I'm like, y'all, can we turn it in late? I'm like, that's fine. But one of my students told me I'm too nice. So one day I'll put my foot down. No, you
Or
can't
just,
turn it in late.
Continue being nice.
Think so?
Yeah, we're in a strange climate right now. Yeah.
Soft era?
Yeah.
Gentle teaching era?
Gentle teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. So things we can look forward to. Positive
100%.
things.
Mhm.
Retirement.
Retirement.
If y'all haven't read the book, read the book 4 Hour Work Week.
What is it called?
4 Hour Work Week.
Oh, 4-hour work week. Okay.
Is this
4-hour work week. Yeah.
Is that where it talks about retiring every 7 years?
This one is about creating a schedule where you barely do any work throughout the
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that.
week.
When I become president,
Yeah, that'd be fire. Shout out to Obama.
3-day work weeks.
Hey,
And if you can make 3 days turn into 4 hours, good for you.
I'm here for the 4 hour work week. I mean, the 4-day work week.
Yeah.
Whether that be 4 10s or 32, whatever it is, I'm here for it.
No, it's gonna still be 8, but it's gonna be 3 days a week.
Oh, 3 day. Oh, you talking about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Like that ratio
Yeah.
right there.
And you have more people employed because some people can work the opposite days. A great wage. You can still live without working 6 jobs.
Got plans for the future.
Right. He's like, I'm still gonna put out those 12-hour work days for my employees.
Nah, actually, no. If I actually have it in my journal, my business journal. When I have a business, I'm gonna have the option for 4-day work weeks, off Fridays. Because I feel like people don't work hard on Fridays anyway.
Yeah.
So if you want to come in anyway, you can. If not, it's okay. But I mean, I'm also not crazy. I'm not paying you for the day.
Friday should be an overtime day, like an extra credit. Because we already genuinely generally don't want to work, but if you do work, you get a little bonus.
Yeah. One of my old jobs, we used to have, was it like office days on Fridays? So we didn't engage with any clients or anyone. It was just like a time for us to do what we need to do. And a lot of times it was just like, because it was a community center that I ran, so I had to like shop. So I'm like, I'm getting my shopping done. I'm getting their shopping done.
Mhm.
So I like that. It was just like a day where you just do whatever you need to do for work. And a lot of times we, of course, wrapped up early. And in my current job, if it's like we're about to have Veterans Day, okay, we get that day off anyways. But say that there was a holiday on that Monday, they would give us only a half day on Friday. So we'll start our holiday 3-day weekend early. So I like that too.
Yeah, I think 4-day work weeks for me is the future. Only because every other society has their form of break, whether it be Spain with siestas or like France with the 2-hour lunches and stuff like that. Like, like every culture has that, and we don't have that. I feel like the 4-day work week might be.
And we're still behind all of them.
Well, we're still behind all them as far as like, but we make the most money, but we don't got all the different, like the different benefits they have.
It's like, is it really worth it?
Yeah. For me, at least. But guys, I appreciate you guys for joining us for another episode of Special Friends Podcast. Again, I'm your boy Wu, and this is
Allie B.
And we're also here with Ariel.
Hello, bye-bye.
Yeah, if you guys enjoyed the episode, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe, and again, comment. Just comment in the video what you like, what you want us to talk about, anything. If you listen to the audio version, please do me a favor. If you aren't, subscribe to the podcast on audio version, and also rate it 5 stars. Also, I haven't been letting this be known, and maybe I should have said this early in the episode. The audio version comes out before the video version. This heads up. If you guys want to listen to the audio version first, it comes out first, and then the video comes out the next day. So if y'all want to listen to the audio version, if you want to listen to the podcast before everybody else, that's the way right there. Again, appreciate you guys, and we out of here. Peace. That's what fit.
I was going to say peace.
Is popping because I invested in something new recently.
Okay.
That's what I feel.
I'm glad you're getting your results.
Me too.
It takes a lot of energy and money to figure out products that work for you.
I went to Sephora and actually got a consultation, and that's like they were very knowledgeable. And it wasn't another chocolate woman.
Oh, okay.
She was a brown woman.
The Browns still, they be knowing.
Us and themselves. So it was, I guess skin types are skin types. I don't know that skin types are just based on race, So anyway.
I feel like you're waiting for us.
No, I was just listening.
Yeah.
I actually I follow a lot of beauty YouTubers because they don't want, like, the men YouTubers don't give out the good skincare tips. I be following them. That's where I got the the reason I don't put lotion on my knees is because the lotion, I got that now. Before that, I had the that blue and white bottle, the La Roche, which is like $25. I'm like, I ain't putting that on my knees. You know what I'm saying?
I like that brand.
Oh, that's what I put on my face.
Have you watched
CeraVe.
Offset's skincare routine on Elle or Vogue? I forgot which one it is.
It's fire. It's bad.
It's
bad.
It works for him. It's a men's.
What does it include? What does it entail?
What did it include?
She's like, I don't remember.
He used oil. He doesn't use like lotion.
That's fire.
He uses oil. I think he uses like basic soap, like just to cleanse his face.
Bar soap?
I think he uses like Dove or something.
That's not bad though.
Yeah, I see a lot of people using Dove. They gave me Dove yesterday at my dermatologist's office for
your face?
Because I had a procedure done on my neck to like cleanse it and stuff. I can't remember what else, but I'll send y'all the video. But it was just interesting because you don't see people like him on that segment of Vogue's YouTube or whatever. So people in the comments like, oh, like the person we never thought we needed to see on this. And I was just like, that's cool. He's like, crossing over and stuff. So
I think that's why he kind of split up from the Migos, because I think his brand, he wanted to be wider scope and brand. I remember saw him when he was investing in some businesses that he was kind of getting away from the Migos, and I think he's made a good transition in my opinion.
Yeah, he's doing good.
I always liked him. I watched him on that fashion show too that he did. It was streetwear, and it was fashion designers competing, and he was one of the judges and like mentors.
Fire.
It was a great show.
That's
I
pretty
loved
lit.
it.
I'm jealous.
Netflix or something?
It's on Amazon or I can't remember. It was either Amazon or like Max. Yeah.
Yeah, I have my face routines has evolved over the years. But I always crack up because like when I think of face routine, I just think about one person. Is my boy Marcus, and it's because this nigga has like some of the best looking skin I've ever seen in my life. Swear to God. And you know what he uses to wash his face? Irish Spring. That's all he tells me. He's like, bro, you want to get your face right? Irish Spring. I'm like, nigga, no. I'm so sorry. Like, telling you, man, Irish Spring. He said he just used the bar. He used the bar and just rubs the bar on his face to wash his face, rinses it off, and then puts lotion on. He's like, yeah, that's all I do. This man has beautiful skin. I said, man, genetics is a hell of a thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, only certain skins can stand up to or can hold up to Irish Spring every day, and that be the only thing.
My phone, look at my phone's over there. I'll show you his face because he really does have like great skin. I'm like, sometimes I think to myself, maybe should I try the Irish Spring?
You should experiment.
Every time I look at men, though, most of the time they have like amazing skin. I'm like, what do you do? They're like, I use soap and water or just water. And I'm just like, so easy.
Mm-hmm.
I got a pretty big skincare bag because I have like a night. It's more of a night. Well, because the job I have, a lot of like stuff gets in my face, so I have to be a little bit more. But before it used to be so easy. I used to have like 3 products, like 3 in the morning and then 4 at night because I put the night cream on. But now I have like exfoliator, microcellular water. This is so much. But yeah, I like it though. Sometimes only time was like when you're like coming home faded and you gotta do your skin routine. You're like,
you just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
I be staring at the sink like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna do this? And I was like, I'm just gonna wash my face, throw the cream on, call it a day.
Yeah. It reminds me when like that gold dial soap was trending on TikTok. And everyone's like, it cleared up my skin. You have to do it, ladies. And then like they added like one other like oil or whatever. And then like dermatologists were coming out. They're just like, it's working because it's an antibacterial soap. And you're not supposed to use that every day. So stop doing this. You're drying out your skin and like exposing it even more to like more like toxins and stuff like that in the air. People were just like, I don't care. It cleaned up my skin.
Yeah. I don't care. My skin is fresh. Like, nah.
That's what. Yeah. So yeah. That's. I'm glad that I went to I got a consultation at Sephora because before I was kind of like, I'd actually had a consultation before the second one I went to, and I tried this. It's like I want to say it's a rice milk powder.
Oh, was it the
Was it
human
by
one?
Tatcha?
Human Race?
No, it's by Dermalogica.
Oh, okay.
And it was great, but it was like it's just an exfoliant, and I needed a new moisturizer, and I just ran out of the one I was using, which was a Vino, pure radiance or something like that. It's like SPF in it, but I knew it was not working. So when I went in there, they were like, you need more of like a water based moisturizer as opposed to a cream one because my skin's kind of oily, dry. I have combination skin, so I have Laneige. Have you ever heard of Laneige?
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, I started with their lip care.
Yeah, I love
Their
their
lip
lip
mask.
care. Their lip mask.
Yeah, the best. If you go to sleep with that and the next day, you're going to have soft, moisturized lips for pretty much most of the day, at least the whole morning. But anyway, I've used their skincare before, but this for my daytime skincare, it's like a water-based moisturizer with a serum, and then I have a new cleanser by Skin Fix.
I want to try Skin Fix so bad, but it's kind of pricey for me right now. So I'm like,
it is worth it though. It's doing what it's
well,
supposed
I
to
figure
do.
it would be. But I'm just like, I don't want to
Yeah.
get something I can't keep up
Yeah,
financially.
My favorite is the what's that? Is it? It's not called Basics. Ordinary brand.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Ordinary's good too. Ordinary's good and affordable.
La Roche, Ordinary, CeraVe. That's me.
Yeah. I go through periods where I'll invest a lot of good, like in a good product or good routine, and then I'll run out and I'll be like,
Time to
I'll go ahead
re-up.
and get this CeraVe, like you
Yeah.
said. But with the experience I'm having with Laneige, I think I'll actually be committed to it. Like it feels
Hey.
like a really nice part of my morning and evening routine. I actually look forward to washing my face.
Okay.
So
It's kind of fire.
yeah.
I'll get there one day.
Yeah.
In January, I was thinking about transitioning to using like skincare stuff that doesn't come in a bottle. So it's just like soaps and like reusable container type
Uh-oh.
vibes.
Or like lotion bars.
Yeah. And like shampoo bars and stuff like that. So we'll see. And it's black owned. So I was like,
Oh, it's a company.
yeah, there's two that I want to try.
Oh.
One is for skin and one's for hair.
I know Human Race, the Pharrell's brand, when you buy the green little cup, you buy refills. You don't buy.
Yeah, I think
more.
that's what theirs is too.
Yeah, I think that's a fire concept. You know, on the concept of sustainability, have you guys seen Urban Outfitters?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, they got a brand called Nuuly.
I don't think I've heard of it.
It's a clothing rental service.
Oh, okay.
So you rent clothes, and they'll give you six pieces every month, and you just return them and get 6 pieces next month. I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, that's probably like the most fire thing I've ever heard in my life.
There's other places that have done that, but I just never seen like a large brand do that before.
Well, there's a for like higher level people. There's like the runway, rent the runway,
Yeah.
where you can get like the Balenciaga pieces, stuff like that. But Nuuly is the more affordable for regular people.
Yeah.
And I was reading all about it, and I was like, I don't know. Especially you talking about sustainability, because like I buy statement pieces most of the time. Like I don't buy statement pieces often. I buy a lot of basics. So I don't usually go through clothes too often. For people who want the statement pieces, it'll be easier just to rent them, and that way you can, especially in the era of Instagram where like I can't wear the same outfit twice. Like
yeah.
I think it was, who was it? What's that guy off of Wild 'N Out?
Nick Cannon.
Not Nick Cannon. The
DC Young Fly.
the one
Chico
who goes
Bean? Carlos
DJ
Miller?
D-Rec, cut the conceited.
Okay. Yeah.
He said what he does is that he wears the outfit 2 times, and on the 3rd time he posts it on Instagram.
That's a good
smart.
method.
That'd be so weak. He's like, yeah, he said, I'll be ducking the cameras, and then, he'll wear it 2 times, and on the 3rd time he'll post it. And
Honestly,
he got his wears out of it.
I'm not mad at it.
yeah. Honestly, I hope we move out of that though. Like, like what if I wore the same thing every day? Like, who are you?
Oh, you can get away with that.
Like,
You're a
I
minimalist,
yeah, but I'm just like, what is the issue of
For
me
me,
seeing you in
it's-
another same outfit? Like,
But it's like an aesthetic thing. Like I get aesthetic exhaustion from looking at the same things, or like I don't get the same like excitement and enthusiasm wearing a particular outfit if I've worn it enough times.
oh, okay.
So it's like
that makes
that.
sense too.
Yeah, I don't know. For me anyway, that's the case. So I could resonate with that, but I do repeat outfits.
Yeah, totally.
Ones that make me feel really good.
I get it, because I repeat outfits. Oh, it's sometimes that day where you just got like, man, I got that shit on. You can't repeat that. Like once you get that fit where it's like, man, everybody give you a compliment, like you can't come back with the same.
Nah,
Yeah.
I just
It's
think
a wrap
about
for that
like,
fit.
okay, I can wear this in a different group of people.
Oh no, you can do that,
Yeah.
but most people hang in the same circles, so it's
Yeah.
like, like it's like, imagine like if you go to the club all the time, And one day you go and you just fly to death, and the next day you fly to death, but in the same outfits.
Is it?
That's my club outfit.
Yeah, I know, right?
Is it like everyday wear that's rentable, or is it, when you say statement pieces, is it for like special occasions? Because Rent the Runway is for usually special occasions, you know.
I've never looked into Nuuly, but I know there's other brands out there that's been doing that for the past few years,
Oh yeah.
and they've been more casual wear,
Okay.
like just everyday pieces.
It does look like a nice mix. Like if you just want to stand out, and then nice piece. Wow. It's cute. I like that red dress. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so these are most of their brands. Levi's. I ain't talking. I ain't saying something. You just said something. I'm not gonna lie. For 6 piece, you get 6 items for $98 a month. That's not bad. I spend more. I should spend $300 a month on clothes trying to stay in it. Oh, look at just for you, Ellie. The skirts.
Ooh.
Look at her eyes lighting up.
I mean, like I said, obviously, I don't think you will get basics on here, but you like, yeah, you talking about like I got an event, especially if you think about like something like what, like if you're doing speeches all the time. Imagine having to buy an outfit for every time. Just get that little rental service.
This would save me so much. I'm trying to fight the fast fashion monster, but
I
it's
did that for
hard.
a few years, and then I want to say 2021, I was just like, I want what I want.
Now I want what I want.
I want to be conscious, like, because I do still like the fast fashion brands like Fashion Nova. I like Shein,
Yeah.
but like, I don't want to perpetuate child labor
And the waste of all of it.
and the
stuff.
waste of everything. So I don't know. I want to figure out what's the in between, but this seems like a nice option for, combating my urge to splurge.
Yeah, I remember I was Team H&M until the whole the monkey T-shirt thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm gonna go act like I've never been back to H&M since
I was
then.
gonna say.
Like, I mean, I haven't been back like I used to. I've been back like one time. I was like in a different city, and I was like, we gotta go somewhere nice. Fuck. But I haven't been like I used to go to H&M religiously because they had a program where you could bring your clothes in and recycle them, and they'll give you a discount. So like I have like
I
I'm
never
those
knew
people who rip
that.
pants right here all the time. So I just go recycle them because then I could do with them.
They have that
I didn't
program
know
either.
that. That's cool.
That's why I thought they were dope. And then I saw that. I said, dang.
Yeah.
Why did y'all read the room?
I want to invest in like a what do you call it? Like a capsule wardrobe, and then do like from here time to time maybe do like those fast fashion options. But the wardrobes I wanna invest in are kind of pricey. I showed it to my sister. She was just like, "You paid that much for I think it was like a bomber jacket vibe, but it was like the one that goes like to your ankles." And I was like, "Yeah."
The heck? I mean, I think people don't understand. This is obviously my fashion bag. I actually love fashion, even though I'm always dusty on this podcast. People don't understand that when you buy those pieces that you're talking about were like expensive, those are pieces that you're wearing for years on years. Like those you're not getting rid of that bomber jacket next year.
Yeah.
If you get rid of that bomber jacket, it's usually death, or you're just going for a completely switch up and you're usually going to sell it.
Yeah.
But like I have a trench coat in there and I have all these different kind of like statement pieces that I can get a new shirt and throw a shirt on or something like that. That jacket's not going nowhere. The shirts, that's the problem that I always struggle on. Like people pay like $150 for a shirt. I'm like, Jesus.
But
Christ.
they last long though.
They do.
Unless it's like one of those like brands who are just trying to make money because they have a name. But a lot of like brands that are actually selling quality stuff, like those shirts last years.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't fade, they don't shrink,
Mm-hmm.
they feel nice on your skin. So sometimes it is still worth it.
Like I said, I agree. That's what I say. I just against the like not truly against fast fashion, but I'm against the concept of like you buy the shirt, you wear it 3 times. Like maybe because even before I'm not gonna put it all on Forever 21 and stuff like that. Cause before that was JCPenney's and Macy's doing it. You go to Macy's and it's like, I'm a little broke kid, 5 shirts for $20, and you wear one good time, you wash it up and go,
Yeah.
or like the logo crack up and it's like, well, next year I gotta get another one. Really, by summer I gotta get another one. I don't know.
Yeah, I've had a lot of clothes though that I've had for years that weren't $100 or some dollars. Like they're from Target and like H&M
Target's dope.
and like places like that, and I just take good care of them, and so I'm able to wear them long term. So that's been kind of my like happy medium, I guess.
Wash cold, dry on low.
I don't dry most of my clothes like in the dryer anymore, unless they're like casual. Like everything I like hang.
I used to do that. I don't got that time no more.
I just have clothes hanging around my apartment.
I used to put my pants in the freezer too.
Oh, okay. Can you explain that? Because I just seen what's his name? The rapper that plays on Abbott Elementary.
Oh, them all everybody his Chris.
No. He is a rapper, but Vince Staples.
Oh yeah.
I just watched his 10 Essentials video yesterday, and he was talking about his tour manager because his tour manager puts his
pants in the dryer. In the
yeah,
freezer.
and his tour manager is also ashy.
Mm-hmm.
I think y'all will get along.
Y'all roasting me, bro. I'm not always that ashy.
I'm
Jesus
just
Christ.
kidding.
She's like, y'all might be best friends.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, he was just saying, he was like explaining that he puts on oil. He also uses only oil like throughout his day because he doesn't like being ashy and dry. And he was like, but my tour manager, he never puts on lotion or anything. He just goes on about his day.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, but he also puts his jeans in a freezer next to the Eggos. So I don't know how much you want to trust that man.
Yeah, I mean,
What's it about? Why do you put your pants in the freezer?
Yeah, like what is the
Do
purpose?
they thaw out or something throughout the day, or?
it's a complicated. It's a complicated. So obviously, jeans are one of like the most like in the whole clothing industry. Jeans are the worst thing for the environment. Period. It takes so much water to wash just to get the wash. It's a whole bunch of water, but people don't realize to grow all the cotton that's needed to make jeans is also a lot of water. Like it's crazy. So in that, there was a movement, and even like the guy who owns Levi's does this too. There's a thing about taking care of your jeans and the proper care to take care of like expensive, sturdier jeans. And one of the things that you do is that you don't wash jeans often. You wash them when they get dirty. Because, like, if you're especially like a fashion designer, if you're just walking around the day and you're wearing jeans, most of the time your jeans aren't getting like torn up, like tattered, like somebody who's like might wear Wranglers or something like that. So what you're really worrying about is the buildup of bacteria from like sweat and stuff like that, which is why you put it in the freezer to kill the bacteria without washing them.
Oh, okay.
Granted, again, this is when I bought way more expensive pants than I buy now. Now I'm just a Levi guy, which they're also still kind of expensive. But when I used to buy like, my jeans would be like $100-some. I'm not just throwing them. I'm not throwing them in the dryer. Like you would when you do wash them, you wash them inside out, on cold, and then you hang them out to dry.
Yeah, that's how I wash my jeans, and I have enough jeans to like not wash them that often because I knew about that part.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't understand the freezer part, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things because like, what's his name? A lot of it's actually when you look up like some of the fashion designers, even like Muichi Prada, like they have, they're all minimalists because obviously they create fashion, so they don't have time to really think about what they're gonna wear.
Yeah.
So they have a uniform is what they call it, and a lot of times it's like 3 pair, like what's his name? Not Tom Ford. Well, Tom Ford has a uniform too, but what's that guy's name? I can't remember his name, but there's a couple like Rick Owens has a uniform too, where he only owns like 3 pairs of black pants and like a plethora of shirts. So if you only have 3 pairs of black pants, there's 7 days in the week. He's not washing them pants every day. Like we being honest, like
and they're black.
Yeah, they're black. So it's like, and not also he's not running in the mud either. You know what I'm saying? He has like gym shorts and clothes for gym, stuff like that, so you don't sweat in them. But yeah, that's how you preserve stuff like that. And I was doing that like probably when I was like 20, 21.
So did you put them in like your regular freezer, or did you have like
No, I put them in my
freezer for
freezer.
jeans?
I had a freezer, but I had them in a Ziploc bag. I wouldn't just they don't just sit in there. You put them in a Ziploc bag and you put them in there. And you usually put them there when the company's not coming over. Like, and it's, you just leave them in there for a day. Nothing crazy.
Desanitization.
That's cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, it was on some nerd stuff, and people who about it get it, but it's kind of crazy. Anyway, that was a deep conversation.
You're my special friend.